Dad, I didn't have any idea I was hanging out with Star. He's a 1992 national champion, 93.
No, I know
the number
all about
5
him.
pick.
I know all about him.
The number 5
Hey,
pick.
John.
I would like
before we get into Barry and all the money you made, does Barry at all get on those guys for not playing hard?
Oh, Coach, yes, yes.
Huh?
Sometimes Coach have to rein him in.
Yeah, John has to. But it's easy to get on guys and get on people when you got John Copeland sitting beside you. Because if the brawl breaks out, as long as he's got my back, I'm good. Good morning, John. How are you? How you doing?
I'm good, Coach. He's the chip off the old block.
Oh, he is?
All right.
Yeah.
So last night,
you don't know much about my block, but that's what I heard.
Yeah. John, let's talk NFL real fast, and then I want to talk about what you're doing now, the new head football coach at Tuscaloosa Academy, which I couldn't be happier about that. But these guys last night, they hear their name called. You got Quentin Williams, number 3, Jonah Williams, number 11, Josh Jacobs, 24. Just kind of go through that back in your mind. What happens like today? Do they fly to the team that drafted them? Just kind of go through what these players are probably going through today.
Well, when I got drafted by the Bengals back in '93, I didn't get to the team complex until May for that first mini camp. We stayed in contact. They kind of give you a workout thing and expectations, and they expect you to come in shape and ready to go. But it was a couple of weeks before I actually got to meet anybody from the Bengals organization.
So what about these guys? I guess they do it different now. They fly them in immediately and have a press conference. How does your agent get to work on the contract immediately? Is that why you didn't go, because you had to get the contract and stuff settled first?
Well, I didn't get there till probably about a week left into training camp. You know, back then, Gary, it was a big time money fight. This is right when the collective bargaining agreement came out. I think I was one of the first draft classes that was under the collective bargaining agreement. So it was new to everybody. So everybody was trying to figure this thing out. So a lot of us, we didn't get to camp too extremely late. And I think the NFL has changed the way back then there wasn't a whole lot of big press conferences, and the media it wasn't like it is today. It's just so much different than it is today. But once you get that name call, it doesn't really set in. And I know for me, it didn't really set in that I was an NFL football player until I got that check. Once I got the check, I said, okay, now this is real.
Speaking of the check, what do these guys have to be careful with? You guys, these guys, Josh Jacobs, Jonah Williams, Quentin Williams, that check, their signing bonus, like Quentin Williams, we looked at it, his signing bonus will be over $20 million. His first contract's going to be over $30 million. What do these guys have to be cautious about as they start getting this kind of money, all the different people coming into their lives?
The number one thing you got to watch out for, first and foremost, is families and friends. They'll drain you dry before anybody. You think you owe them something because they've been around your whole life, and everybody's going to have their hands out. You got to learn to say no, and you have to learn to say no early. You're going to have people coming out the woodworks with these great ideas, these great investments, but nobody's bringing any money to the table. They just want to use your money. You got to be careful, all that kind of stuff. And for young men, especially young men of color, women, stay away from those gold-digging women.
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, you told that right. When you got there on the field itself, I think the practices were different because y'all wallered around one day a week. But the rest of the time, was practice different than it was at Alabama?
I think it was a little more intense and a little more technique-based in college. Once you get to the NFL, you're a professional. You should know this stuff. And they don't spend a whole lot of time on different techniques. They spend more time on preparation, getting ready for what the other team's going to try to do to you. In college, they're standing over you, making you work out, screaming at you and hollering at you. In the NFL, they don't do that. You expected to get your work done during off season. You expect to get your work done off the field, and you're a professional. It's a 9 to 5. You go in about 7:30, 8 o'clock. You get off about 4:30, 5 o'clock every day.
Yeah, how difficult is that for some of those guys? That's all they do is football all day, or is that kind of a relief? You don't have to worry about class now. It's just football, football, football. Is that a transition for most players?
It is. I guess the first 2 or 3 months that you're doing this, it's different. It takes some getting used to. But once you settle in, I guess once you get a good half a season under your belt and you settle in, and especially if you're one of those guys that is playing a lot on the field, you locked in because you got to be prepared for the game. So you're locked in on everything that's going on, and you're getting yourself prepared, getting ready to play on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, you were the right kind of person, and there ain't no doubt about that, the way you played and carried yourself. But John Q. player over somewhere, he might be late for practice. He might drag his little fanny in there instead of 7 or 7:30. He might drag his butt in there at 8 or 8:30. What's the story on that?
They're going to fine you. The first fine is not going to be that bad. The second fine is going to be worse. And the third time you do it, they're going to really hit your pockets. But if you're one of those guys and you continue to do that, you're going to, your name in the locker room is going to start being, it's going to be dirty. Once you get to that level, people are going to hold you accountable. You got to be a dependable person. And the last thing you want is for your teammates to look at you and don't think you're accountable. You don't want that, because once that started to happen, then the coaching staff is going to say, okay, this guy right here is just not a good fit for our team, and they're going to be looking to replace you.
Yeah, they're going to cut you.
Good.
What about the rookies, John? When they get in there, the veteran guys are in there. The rookies got to kind of buy their time. You hear a lot of those different stories. Maybe talk about what you experienced there as a rookie.
Well, I'll tell you. I was the first round pick. So when I was in the NFL, each rookie at some point after training camp, each rookie have to take their unit, their group out. So I was a defensive lineman. So right when we broke training camp, I had to take all the defensive linemen out to eat and to party. Well, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, because some of my other rookie friends had took their groups out, and it wasn't that bad. But I didn't take into account that I was the first round pick. So we get to dinner. Well, first off, we have to get 2 limousines, big guys. So we get out to dinner, and I noticed that, everybody's ordering off the very expensive side of the menu. And everybody's ordering their own bottles of champagne. And it just keep going over and over and over. And I left out of that restaurant with a $25,000 bill. But
oh my heavens, they ain't mauled.
$25K?
$25,000 for one dinner. It was I think it was good. 10 of us, 10 or 12 of us.
What would you do to have that $25K back now, John?
But here's the thing, though, Barry. The next year we drafted Dan Whippleson, #1 pick overall at Ohio State. So when we went to dinner with Dan, I was thinking about my $25,000. So I got most of my $25,000 back from him.
Well, you didn't get it back. You just ate good and drank good that night.
Ate good, drank good, party good. Yes.
Yeah, you got to take it. You had to take part of it. You had a good a party bag you took home with you.
Yeah, you said give me a to-go box.
We had a really good time with him. His pockets were unlimited.
All right,
John. Let me tell you something. You're fixing to hire an offensive coordinator. Well, when you bring him in there, here's what you tell him: hey, I don't want to hear any stuff out of you. The only thing you're either going to run it or pass it. That's all you're going to do with it. And so if you just go do I got a lot of things to do on defense. I'm the head coach. But all you going to do is run it or pass it. Just make darn sure that you know what to do and run it.
Hey, John, Dad's got a lot of free time. All you got to do is give him some free gear. He'll come down there and call the plays for you.
Hey, run it or pass it.
Coach, I was talking to my team yesterday, a couple of guys off my team, and we was kind of talking about the offensive coordinator position. And, football haven't changed a whole lot. And I don't think sports have changed a whole lot. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. So you can come in here talking all these X's and O's and all this bull crap. I don't really care about that. How do you get your guys to play for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. John, tell us about playing for Coach Stallings. Dad, Coach Stallings are really, really close. They're close friends.
Bees probably didn't even remember his name third. Well, no, he was so darn good he probably did, but Bees might not remember his name third week.
He said he was bad with names, John. Was Coach Stallings bad with names?
No, not at all. I saw Coach Stallings last night over at the Rise thing, and he knew. I mean, he knew exactly who every one of his players was that was in there without hesitation.
Good.
I mean, he'll look at you, he'll know exactly who you are without hesitation. Probably one of probably the best coach I've ever played for.
Really?
Hands down. Hands down.
Why?
Hands down.
Tell me why.
Because Coach Stallings, when I came to Alabama, I was a little boy fresh out of Valley, Alabama, and have never really been anywhere on my own. And Coach Stallings treated us like young men. He taught us how to be young men, how to be responsible for our actions, and he gave us a lot of freedom with the understanding that if you act like a young man, I'm going to treat you like a young man. So don't give me a reason to treat you any other way. And I respected that.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, you got the new job there at Tuscaloosa Academy. Just talk about how excited you are about running that football program.
I'm extremely excited, Barry. I've been around for 12 years. I've built a great relationship with parents, administration, alums. I've been students. I love it. And as you know, we have great kids. We have kids that come from great homes. They come in, they work hard. They probably don't have the most talent in the world, but they give you every single thing they got every time they step out on the football field. And my whole thing is, it's not about winning. I don't care about how many games I win or lose. I'm trying to teach life lessons. Man, you talk about that in basketball all the time. So if those kids can leave our program and they have learned life lessons that they can carry throughout their life, then we've did our job.
No doubt. So we'll go out.
Well, you're going to do great. I'm going to get over there and see you play.
No doubt.
Okay,
no doubt.
you,
He'll do great. All right, John, I'll see you later on today, man. I appreciate you taking time to be on.
No problem. Y'all take care.
Thanks for being on.